In the good morning. In the previous video, we have seen about different basics of basic definition about welding and the terms used in the welding. Here, in this in the later part of the previous video, we have seen a glimpse about classification of welding. So when we comes into the other type of classification, in the fusion welding process, if the electrode what we are using for the welding process, if it is consumed or it is deteriorated, it comes under consumed electrode welding. If the electrode is not consumed or if it is not melted, so it comes under non-consumed electrode welding. So for example, in the consumer welding electrode welding type, we have many types, but we will see the four ones. The first one is FCAW, that is flux core arc welding, GMAW, gas metal arc welding, or otherwise known as metal inert gas welding, that is MIG. The third one is SMAW, that is shielded metal arc welding or manual metal arc welding. The fourth one is SAW, that is submerged arc welding, right? So when it comes into the non-consumable part, it is ESW, GTAW, OAW. GTAW is gas tungsten arc welding. OAW, that is oxygen acetylene welding. PAW is plasma arc welding, and SW is solid welding, solid state welding, right? So when we comes, the first one is shielded metal arc welding. In the welding part, the one useful thing is that if you understand the name of welding, you can easily say about the process which is present or which is done, or procedure what we are doing during the welding process. The first one is shielded metal arc welding. It is SMAW. It is also known as MMAW, that is manual metal arc welding, or flux shielded arc welding, or stick welding, right? So as we said already, it is shielded metal arc welding. Shielded metal or flux shielded metal is that the electrode what you are using for this type of this particular welding, it is covered, the electrode is covered with the flux coating, okay, and this welding is done and it is shielded metal, and it's as usual arc welding. Here the, as its name implies, arc welding, the power source of heat is, the source of heat is electricity. So in short, in definition of this SMAW is that it is an arc welding process wherein coalescence is produced by heating the workpiece with an electric arc setup between a flux coated electrode and a workpiece. So the principle of operation is that the first one is the arc is initiated by roughing the electrode momentarily to the workpiece, momentarily. Okay. The second one is the heat from the arc melts the surface of the base metal to form a melt and pour. The third one is the next procedure is the metal melted from the electrode is transferred across the arc into the base metal. When it is solidifies, it becomes deposited weld metal. The next is the molten pool, sometimes called as weld pool. So the control or current or travel speed is most important in this weld pool, and the weld metal deposits is covered by a slag from the electrode. Almost all the electrode metal is transferred to the weld pool. A small amount is wasted, and that is nothing called as that, and that is called as spatter. So after that, the slag is removed and cleaned. So in the SMAW principle is that the current flows through the electrode cable to the electrode holder, through the electrode across the arc. On the work side, on the workpiece side of the arc, the current flows through the base metal to the work clamp, and it is back into the welding machine. So this electrode, what we are seeing, it is consumable. As I already said, it is it comes under consumable electrode process, consumable electrode welding process. It is get melted during the welding process. It is composed of two parts, this electrode. First one is core rod or metal filler. It carries the welding current and becomes a part of welding. The second one is the flux coating. It produces a shielding gas and can provide an additional filler. And the third important thing is it forms a slag. As this slag helps to create a shielding gas. Okay. Here the flux which is coated over the electrode forms a shielding atmosphere. So this protects the weld pool from the atmosphere, prevents contamination during the molten state. So after that, the slag, which is a combination of flux coating and the impurities from the base metal, it's flow to the surface of the weld, and the slag is quickly solidified to form a solid state, and the slag is also slows the cooling rate of the weld. So the slag can be chipped away and